All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're gonna talk about the trap muscles. Where they're located, what do they do, and how to train them properly so you can maximize your muscle growth. Let's get into it. All right guys, to help me out with anatomy, Erica, you're up. Let's talk about the traps and where they're located. The traps are one complete muscle and they do a few different things. Number one, the traps basically gonna attach to right underneath your skull. From here, and then it goes all the way down to the side of your shoulders, connects there, connects all of these things together, comes down the shoulder blades and connects right down to about here. Now, what does it do? There's three different parts. You got this part, one part, mid part, and lower part. They do a couple things. Number one, they're gonna actually help tilt the head left and right. It's gonna actually help you look even up. Good. It also does shoulder elevation. It's gonna pull the scapulas up, your shoulder blades up, and your shoulders. It's gonna pull it right up. There you go. And then your lower traps actually pull them down. So that muscle is from here all the way down to here and all across. It's a lot of muscle. And there's overlap too of where the lats are. So you can see where some things can have a little bit of crossover. And then it also does scapular retraction. Now, because the traps are basically doing three movements, if I say do scapular retraction, but do the middle trap, you're going to have something like a little bit of elevation and scapula retraction. Your shoulder blades will pinch together on a direction this way. Now, if I say do the same thing, but do it with your lower traps, if you pull them together, it keeps the shoulders depressed while pulling the shoulder blades together. Now we know how that works. And all those movements are positive or concentric movements. So we want to load those movements. So here's how you load those movements properly.
Hey guys, before we continue with this video, I gotta make sure you guys are hydrated. You hydrated yet? Probably not. Check it out, I got answers for you. Guys, use my code Johnny10 for 10% off amino fast. Like what's amino fast? Guys, amino fast is gonna increase your overall performance, reduce muscle soreness, improve your hydration, and it's gonna prevent muscle cramps. And guess what? All our flavors taste amazing. So guys, again, use my code Johnny10 for 10% off your next order of amino fast right now. Okay, back to the show.
All right, so because I just want to talk about training our traps on our neck, we're still gonna have a little bit of that incorporated. So, a couple things. We wanna be able to load the muscle in the best way. If I wanna load the traps in the orientation of Johnny, I want bigger traps. I want the traps that when you do this, you see them. I want the traps that when I'm wearing a t-shirt, you see them from the front. I want those kind of traps. What are those kind of traps? Well, those kind of traps is when you load the muscle from low to pull your shoulder blades up, and your collarbone and your shoulders in general. It just does this. That's the best way to do it. We could do it with a dumbbell. I mean, a heavy dumbbell, but regardless, doing with a dumbbell like this will challenge that part of my traps. I want the traps everyone sees from the front. I'm loading it anyway like this. What's the best way to get the nice traps in the back that are coming out of your back, right? When you look at the back, when you're wearing a t-shirt, you don't want to see the big lumps by the neck, you want the lumps by the back too. The back thickness, the mid trap and the lower traps. How do we load that? Simple. So if I want to load the traps mid to high, I can just load it this way with a cable or anything that I'm pinching the shoulder blades but pulling up at the same time. I want to load it this way. If I just want to do some good traps like this, great. I'm still getting the scapular retraction and the shoulder elevation. But if I want more of the shape of the elevation, I want to get a little closer and let it pull me from lower. But either way, you're still gonna get the same stimulus whether you pull from here or directly on top like this. Now, if you wanna get the mid trap, the only way to really do that is actually shoulder depression, but also scap retraction, and the best way to load it that way is vertically. So if I'm gonna be this way, I wanna challenge my shoulder blades to be open, protraction. Again, actively, that's when the lats help out. Having the scapulas open like this and completely close is gonna challenge that part of the traps. You get to work it horizontally this way and horizontally and vertically. And then to really load it, we have to bring the lats into it to do the full row, because at that point we can actually load that muscle even more. We get a longer duration of the set that if I do a heavy row from here If I just do this with a lot of weight, or do this and then have to keep it under tension the entire back and loading, I have a better chance at creating more muscle recruitment. So if you want to just build the traps, you can build the traps doing your back exercises by making sure we get a good amount of scapula being open or protraction. We can load it vertically by pulling up, and then we can load it vertically and horizontally by just challenging in a way we're pulling this way. And that's it. Very simple. Now you know where the traps are, what they do, and how to load them. And now you go build them.